Namaskar viewers, I welcome all of you to my presentation. This presentation will focus on museums and archives as sources of information. In previous presentation, we saw how NGOs act as sources of information. They undertake various activities, they undertake various projects to advocate for the people who belong to the disadvantaged strata of society, and they work for their upliftment, they work for their development. There are various NGOs there are different NGOs which also work in various different sectors, like there are NGOs which focus on the issues related to environment. There are NGOs which focus on the work related to, there are NGOs which focus on the activities to help the students, to help the population with disabilities, to help visually challenged students. So today we will talk about museums and archives as sources of information. This presentation will talk about its concept. It will also talk about what is the importance, what is the relevance of museums and archives, and how do they generate or how do they disseminate information. Then we will also talk about certain examples of museums and archives. Now, a museum is a building or institution which houses a collection of artifacts. Museums collect and take care of objects of scientific, artistic, or historical importance and make them available for public viewing through exhibits that may be permanent or temporary. That means what a museum does, in fact a museum is a building or institution, and it houses a collection of artifacts, and it takes care of objects of scientific and artistic or historical importance, and it shows them to public by holding exhibitions. Museums undertake several activities which make them an important information source. This includes display of objects, arts and artifacts along with its information, screening of educational films, it undertakes guided tours, museums organize talks by experts, special lectures and training programs, it extends facilities for photography, access to the reserve collection, library for study, and advice on identification of art objects. These are all information providing activities of the museums. The museums are organizations which are a major source of ancient and historical information. There are different kinds of museums on different areas, such as science museums, rail museums. The museums store and display artifacts, relics, and other ancient material, and also give information regarding the same for the benefit of the information seekers. Now, first one is National Museum of India, and its website is nationalmuseumindia.gov.in. This National Museum of India was inaugurated in 1949, and its collection has more than 2 lakh objects of diverse nature, both Indian as well as foreign, and its collection cover a time span of more than 5,000 years of Indian cultural heritage. And it is under the administrative control of Ministry of Culture, Government of India. As we have already seen, this museum holds 2 lakh works of exquisite art of diverse nature, both Indian and foreign, and its holdings cover a time span of more than 5,000 years of India's cultural heritage. The chronological display of selected art objects in the various galleries, screening of educational films related to art and culture, guided tours, gallery talks by experts, special lectures and training programs, facilities for photography and access to reserve collection, libraries for the study and advice on the identification of art objects are all information providing activities of the museum. Since its inception, the National Museum has been bringing out various publications for the people from all walks of life. There are books for children, for common visitors, and for the scholars interested in the study of art, architecture, painting, sculptures, history, religion, culture, and so on and so forth. Besides bringing out art publications on Indian art and culture, the National Museum also brings out a quarterly newsletter, a research journal, research publication, guidebooks, gallery sheets, etc. The National Museum publishes brochures on exhibitions and galleries, catalogues, monographs, activity books, picture postcards, reproductions and other finding aids required by the scholars and general public. Then we have another example, which is National Rail Museum. It was started in 1977 and it occupies 11 acres of land area and it has 6 indoor galleries. Now this slide focuses on its collection. National Rail Museum houses locomotives and coaches from the princely states. It also houses documents, maps, drawing books and other files which record more than 160 years of Indian railways. It houses steam locomotive made of iron and steel, wooden coaches. It undertakes the continuous activity of restoration of these exhibits. And the indoor gallery uses digital and mobile technologies to make display interactive, educational and engaging in nature. Then what are the various activities which National Rail Museum undertakes? It organizes summer camps for children, it undertakes vintage car rally, it organizes museum day, it holds exhibitions and it conducts school visits. Then we have seen that there are museums which are sources of information. We have seen that slides have shown the collection and activities of National Museum and then National Rail Museum. Then besides museums, we have archives too. Archives, like museums, are storehouses of documents which have great historical value. An archive is a collection of historical records. Archive consists of records which have been selected for permanent or long-term preservation on grounds of their enduring cultural, historical value. Archival records are normally unpublished and almost unique, unlike books or magazines for which many identical copies exist. And then it's very important for viewers to know that archives are quite distinct from libraries with regard to their functions and organizations. Although archival collection can often be found within the library buildings as well. National Archives of India is the repository of non-current records of Government of India and is holding them in trust for the use of administrators and scholars. It is an attached office of Department of Culture under Ministry of Tourism and Culture. This National Archives was set up in March 1891 in Kolkata as the Imperial Record Department, and subsequent to the transfer of national capital from Calcutta to New Delhi in 1911. The records were made available for bona fide researchers in 1939 and by all pre-1902 records were available for consultation. After independence, Imperial Records Department was named as National Archives of India. In 1947, the departmental journal, the Indian Archives, came into existence, which has research papers on source material of modern Indian history, conservation of documents, records management, reprographies, archival awareness, and all other allied aspects of functional archives. Then we have another example, it is Delhi Archives. It is a repository of non-current records of Government of NCT of Delhi. It preserves the rich archival heritage of Delhi. It holds rare documents, maps, photographs, manuscripts, books, etc. for research and administrative purposes. Then what does it do? Its various activities include records management, records appraisal, record retention schedule. Then these records include public records, private records, registration records, library records, microfilms and microfiche. Then archives, it undertakes the activity of preservation to minimize the physical and chemical deterioration of records and prevent loss of information, to preserve records, files, books, volumes, rare manuscripts, maps and photographs. All these are stored as per the archival standards. And to conserve the records for future, the archives use lamina encapsulation method. Then it also undertakes various activities to reach out to the users, to reach out to the public. It organizes various exhibitions, it conducts seminars and symposia, it organizes book discussion sessions. National Archives of India is the nodal agency of Government of India for the implementation of Public Records Act 1993 and the Public Records Rules 1997 made under the Act. The Act regulates the management, administration and preservation of all public records of the central government and the union territory administrations. National Archives of India is responsible for not only keeping in safe custody the records of various ministries, departments of Government of India, but is also engaged in devising suitable mechanisms to streamline the management of their records in a systematic manner so that they can be used by administrators and scholars. It also advises the state governments, custodial institutions in proper upkeep and management of their records. Preservation, reprographic services, reference services and training programs on archives and records management are provided by National Archives of India. National Archives of India is a custodian of the records of enduring value of the Government of India. It was established in 1891 as Imperial Record Department. It is the biggest archival repository in South Asia. It has a collection of all public records, oriental records, cartographic records and microfilms. And Director General of Archives has to ensure implementation of Public Records Act of 1993, Public Record Rules 1997 for the management, administration and preservation of public records in the ministries, departments, public sector undertakings of central government. Then its various outreach activities, it holds exhibitions, it organizes thematic exhibitions, it celebrates Archives Week, and then it also organizes open house program. The visitors can take a conducted tour to different sections of the archives. Then various publications which have information and which these publications spread information to the and these publications can be made use of by the researchers for locating or for retrieving any relevant information. The Indian Archives, newsletter e-Abhilekh, and then catalog of publications. These are publications of National Archives. And what is this Abhilekh portal? It is a portal to access the National Archives of India's reference media and digitized collection. That means through this Abhilekh portal, the users or the scholars can search online reference media and digitized collection of the archives. As you can see on the screen that it is the homepage of Abhilekh portal, and through this portal scholars or information seekers can search online reference media, digitized collection of the National Archives. And it says online reference media, over 2.7 million reference media held by the National Archives of India, and over 7 lakhs digitized records are available for online access. That means through this search interface, seekers can search these online reference media and digitized collections. Then we also have National Film Archive of India. The National Film Archive of India is another example of an archive which aims to safeguard the heritage of Indian cinema for future generations and act as a center for dissemination of a healthy film culture in the country. Promotion of film scholarship and research on various aspects of cinema also form part of its charter. Then familiarizing foreign audiences with Indian cinema and to make it more visible across the globe is another objective of the archive. Many newspaper houses and other organizations also set up and maintain archives. As you can see on the screen, it's the homepage of National Film Archive of India, and it is under the governance of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India. And this portal is also searchable. So in this presentation on museums and archives as sources of information, we have talked about their importance. These museums and archives are organizations which store, organize, maintain, preserve records and artifacts for posterity. The presentation has explained the definitions of archives and museums. It has highlighted their aims and activities and collections. It has also spotlighted the publications which they publish and maintain, and through these publications they spread awareness, they spread information, and their publications serve as important sources of information. So viewers, I hope you have benefited from this presentation on museums and archives. Thank you very much. Namaste.